Grant Green was an American jazz guitarist. In the 60s, he worked for Blue Note as their house guitarist and made more appearances on Blue Note recordings than anyone else. Um, his career came to an end in 1978 when he died. Hi, my name's Dan. This is, I think, my first encounter with Grant Green. I'm pretty sure it's the first time that I've listened to this album. And I would describe this as instrumental small band jazz. So we've got here an electric guitar, which is Grant Green, and we've got a double bass, drums, piano, saxophone, and more unusually a vibraphone, but it is an instrument that's been used quite a bit in jazz. Now I'm going to classify this as hard bop because I have been told it is so by Wikipedia and by Acclaimed Music. My vague understanding is that hard bop is a cross between bebop and R&B, by which I mean old style 60s R&B. But I have no idea what the classification of bebop is. I'm, fishing in the dark here because I'm not really a jazz specialist. How will I describe this? This is kind of fairly classic bookended jazz kind of format. So play the tune, do a whole lot of improvisation stuff, and then play the tune again at the end. And it's pretty relaxed generally. There's four longish tracks. The first track, which is I think probably the most relaxed of the four, is the title track is also the longest. So it's like a slow one. If I've got this right in my memory, there's certainly a fast one second. I think the third one's a faster one, and then the fourth one's a gentle one again. It's I feel like there's all sorts of things come under the title jazz, but I feel like that this is on the continuum of kind of straightforward playing a tune through to at the other end, free jazz, which is trying to throw out as many rules as possible. It's somewhere kind of halfway-ish, maybe a bit towards the looser end. So it's kind of loose in terms of the improvisation, but there is still the structure there. And if you listen carefully and know more about music probably than I do, you can certainly hear some of the structure continuing through. But the improvisation doesn't stick to the chords that are meant to be there. It kind of plays around with that quite a lot, so it's relatively free. But not anywhere near as far as Sun Ra and some of the real free um, jazz people. I have discovered that stuff that is labelled hard bop seems to be about my kind of comfort zone in terms of how much freedom for me to enjoy it easily. I can enjoy stuff that has less freedom as well. So beyond that, it gets a bit challenging. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy it, but it's a bit harder for me to do so. Um, the guitar playing's fine. He's got a clear and mellow tone. Apparently, he produced his tone by boosting the mid-range at the sound for his guitar. It kind of cuts through nicely, but it's not at all distorted or anything like that. The vibraphone is an interesting inclusion. I quite like a vibraphone. It does immediately give me the feeling of Muzak. Just, I think maybe some of this is from um, CFAX and lift music and expectations, where I think vibraphones were used quite a bit. It would be a mistake to think of this as Miyazaki. It's certainly far from kind of just going through the motions. It's reasonable. As always with jazz, I found myself a bit challenged in terms of how informed I am, and so I lumped quite a lot of jazz like this album kind of together as, yeah, it's all right. I quite enjoy it, but I couldn't really tell you a huge amount of technical details about how it works and why this jazz album is on the 3,000 greatest albums of all time, as opposed to many others that aren't. But I did find it listenable and enjoyable. And as I said, I think I quite like a bit of hard bop. So fine, yeah, that's what I think. As always, I'd love to know what you think of this album. So please do let me know by leaving a comment. And that's it from me for now.